So, you want to use the legendary Dragon of Dojima fighting style in Yakuza 0, but in order to do so, you must first complete Real Estate Royale. This guide will show you how to do just that. Keep in mind the order I do most things isn't concrete, and a lot of things can be done in a different order. Now, while the side quest itself starts in Chapter 5, you can prepare for it as early as Chapter 2. So speed Chapter 1, preferably picking Bakumitai when Nishiki forces you to do karaoke, I'll get into why later, and then Chapter 2 starts.
This is where the fun begins.
And by fun, I mean pain. For the moment, you just want to progress in the story, so do that. Then, once it's a day, take this left here, so you can start sub-story 17 underneath it all, which will lead to a surprise tool that will help us later. Then, head down this road to encounter a police officer doing stop-and searches. This is Officer Kikuchi. You're going to want to max out his friendship, as doing so will lead to a surprise tool that will help us later. Continue underneath it all and get sidetracked after spending your completion points and start sub-story 9, The Show Must Go On, which will lead to 2 surprise tools that will help us later. It doesn't matter what choices you pick, the sub-story will end the same no matter what, but if you want to waste as little time as possible, the erasable is the food, grocerying it is tilting it at an angle, and striking the set is removing the props. Once you get outside, the real producer will show up, so like any sane person, you beat the living shit out of him. Stop by Kikuchi again and go over here, so you can start sub-story 7, How to Train Your Dominatrix, which will lead to a surprise tool that will help us later. It really doesn't matter how you complete the sub-story, just that you complete it. Head up to the hotel district to finally continue underneath it all. The girl in the corner is the one you're looking for. After failing to convince her, a Redditor will show up, and you're tasked with giving a man lifelong injuries like all Redditors deserve. While I run across Kamurocho, let me explain something about completion points. You gain them from doing various things, and can use them to buy special upgrades. One of said upgrades is Limit Breaker, which allows you to fully upgrade your Legend style. Unless you're planning on fighting the Amons or some shit, you probably won't have the required amount of completion points to get it and other stuff. When you get to the end of the Kamurocho shopping area, you'll see some kind of black market deal going down, which will start sub-story 8, Password Protected, which will lead to a surprise tool. The conspiratorial man will tell you the password, but only once you do something for him. So, after optionally shitting your pants, you need to beat the shit out of some mafia that trained under Goku, I guess, which will allow you to ask this woman her plans for tonight and tomorrow's weather. When you return to the Constipational Man, you need to tell him it was a movie date and a rain at noon. The game will fade to black and you will receive an actual shotgun and the password. Now, if you're on PC, you won't have to do shit. Just walk up to the guy and you're good. But for some reason, on Xbox, and more than likely PlayStation, but I can't confirm, you actually have to type out the password. Just take a screenshot or put it in a note on your phone or something. Head on over to Popo Tenkaichi Street and start individually buying out their stock of pocket tissues one by one. The reason you need to do this is because this is one of the various properties you don't directly buy. Instead, you need to max out your friendship with a certain character. In this case, every time you place a purchase, your friendship will go up, and pocket tissues are only 20 yen. Though while you're here, do make sure to buy a sweet potato shochu and malts. These are for story progression. I forgot to mention this earlier, but at the shrine where you exchange your completion points, you can receive various items, some of which are expensive plates, which is how I have over 100 million yen. Make sure to sell your pocket tissues. On Showa Street West, there is a restaurant called Sushikin, or Jin, I don't know. This is another building you can receive for free. This time you'll have to buy food, so you'll need to take a little bit of damage so you can eat. After eating enough, you won't be able to raise your friendship just by eating. You'll need to get 4 fish to give to the chef. You can catch them yourself, sure, or, if you've completed Password Protected, you can just buy them. I told you it would help later. Once you've maxed out your friendship, Head up through Theater Square and make sure to take the northwest exit. This will start a short cutscene where a hardcore hooligan trips over some air. This will start sub-story 6, Dan the Yankee. I'm not saying it this time. Head up the street a little and you'll encounter a woman talking about toy cars. This is the Pocket Circuit Stadium, and it is, as you may have been able to guess, another building you get for free. The way you get this one is by maxing out your friendship with the Pocket Circuit Fighter. You do this by winning Pocket Circuit races. Now, you can, by all means, build your way up and become the master of Pocket Circuit, or you can do what I do and just repeatedly win the easiest race. Eventually Fighter will run off, and you'll have to find him and convince him to come back. On your way back to the stadium, head into M-Store Kamurocho to grab a confection gift box and some sake. Again, story progression. Win a few more races and Fighter will tell you he's leaving, then the kids will reveal themselves and Fighter will run off again. While you're getting him, make sure to stop by Theater Square and set Damned Yankee forward for later. The kids will stop by and they will convince Fighter to come back. Make sure to pick up B-Style on your way back to the stadium. Simply walk back in and you will max out your friendship. Stop by Kikuchi again and enter the Sega building on Nakamichi Street, as this is yet again a building that you get for free. Play a shit ton of Outrun, get blue-balled, and you've maxed out your friendship. If you stop by Kikuchi again, you'll get into a fight where he's your ally, and that will max out your friendship. Beat the shit out of this guy and bowl against the staff. This is the last building that you get for free. However, you can't progress your friendship to completion until partway through Real Estate Royale, so this is gonna have to stay on the back burner until then. With that done, you can go back to Theater Square and finish up Damned Yankee. Head to Donathan Kwai Joder to pick up some champagne and Popashowa Street to pick up some scotch. Everything that you can do related to Real Estate Royale is done for the moment, so just progress with the story. When you get to the point where you need to collect alcohol for the homeless, you'll already have everything you need. Beat the living shit out of Oda, and you'll have completed Chapter 2. Chapters 3 and 4 have you playing as Majima, which I'll go over in my Cabaret Club Czar guide, and then Chapter 5 puts you back as Kiryu. You'll need to progress in the story a bit, and there's an achievement you can get in the meeting with Yamanoi for showing off perfect etiquette. Sit at the table near the back, in the nearest seat, don't order anything, and hit the QTE. Now, the game will tell you exactly what to do, so I don't have to. Outside of the Sugita building, various people will be standing there. These are all people whose sub-story you've completed. Talk to them all to get a very nice boost to your total staff. Head into Popo Tenkaichi Street and talk to Miho, and you'll receive the store. Go over to Sushi Giblets, and you'll add the store to your empire. If you've sold the plates you got from Boob and didn't spend the money on upgrades, you can buy all of the properties in the Leisure King area. I'll leave a link in the description to a GameFAQs post detailing the locations of each property. For every 30% of a king's area you take over, an event will happen. The first 30% is pretty much just the game making you acknowledge their existence. 60% will have you fight them in a minigame, and 90% will be a proper fight for the entire area. This is different for the Leisure King, as his first 30% will have you fight his lackeys, using your extra money, investing your properties. The specific category that investments require will be highlighted, and there will be a shape depending on who you're hovering over. An X means they're shit, and should never be called on for that category. A triangle means that they're average. They can do it, but shouldn't be your first choice. A circle means that they're good, and will probably be your first choice most of the time. 2 circles means that they excel, and most of the time should be your first choice. However, there aren't a lot of them, and they can be pretty hefty investments, so keep that in mind. If you saved up your completion points, head on over to the shrine and spend as much as you can on the business menu, which will vastly reduce the time it takes for collections to be ready. Once you get to 60% of the Leisure King's area, he'll challenge you. Collections will be paused while you have a pending challenge, so be sure to take care of them as soon as possible. Head on over to Heroin Karaoke, and a short cutscene will play, during which the Leisure King will say that if Kiryu can score 80 points or more in Judgment, he'll get an extra 10% share of the Leisure King's area, but if Kiryu can't do it, then he loses 10%. This is why I said to do Bakuman Tai in Chapter 1, because I'm pretty shit at rhythm games, and even I can get over 90 points anytime I want. Now, I'm gonna say something that doesn't seem to fit with the rest of my suggestions. Just start progressing in the story. Yeah, you heard me right. You can't actually progress past a certain point in Real Estate Royale if you're not far enough in the main quest, so do that. Though, make sure you are checking the progress of the collections every now and then. Once you get to the point where you're introduced to the Catfight Club, you're good to keep focusing on Real Estate Royale. Once you get to 90% of the Leisure King's land, he'll write you a very angry letter. You meet him out the back of McDonald's and he explains the situation. He was simply trying to catch up on some tasteful literature, but Kiryu interrupted him. Simply beat the living shit out of him and take away everything he holds dear. After the fight, the other kings will appear from a portal made from the Yamato and tell the Leisure King that they're kicking him out of the Modern Warfare 2 clan. The Leisure King asks if he can join Kiryu's, and Kiryu, not really understanding, accepts. Now that you've defeated the Leisure King, the other areas become open. This isn't really important, as most of the areas are way above your pay grade, but it is a bit of bonus money for each collection. Go into the Sega building on Nakamichi Street and claim the store. You can also head back to Mock Bowl and max out your friendship, which will get you a chicken. This is one of the better managers. Now, the way you get it is by bowling a turkey, 3 consecutive strikes. For some reason, I couldn't do it to save my goddamn life. I could bowl a strike damn near whenever I wanted to on PC, but here, I can hardly bowl 1 per set. Once you get the chicken, you can walk right back into Mock Bowl and claim it. The Leisure King is beaten, so there's another achievement you can get. Outside of the building the game instructs you to buy, there will be an NPC that will bow to Kiryu. Simply stand in front of him and Kiryu will start an animation where he pulls out a cigarette. The NPC will light it for you, and you'll get the achievement. Head up Tenkaichi Street to this restaurant where you'll find 2 guys talking. Their conversation will reveal that none other than Miracle Johnson himself is visiting Kamurocho. Maybe keep him away from the Pocket Circuit Stadium. Take the nearest entrance to Theater Square and you'll find the director from The Show Must Go On. Talk to him and he'll reveal that the rumors of Miracle are actually true. Accept his offer to go with him and meet Steven Spining. Yes, that's spining and not spinning. Spinning has 2 ends. Next, you'll meet Miracle, beat the shit out of some zombies, and Miracle will present you with 2 options, a small white box or a big black box. Pick the black box and you'll receive the silent shoes, which lower the rate of enemy encounters. Something that I've neglected to mention is that if you don't have a good enough security assigned to an area, there may be an interruption. If this happens, collections for that area will be paused and Kiryu will have to handle it himself. You should always try to put your best security on the Pleasure King's area, as that one is the farthest away, and as such takes the most time to fix. This isn't a problem once you beat an area king, and if you keep a close eye on how much land you own, you can proactively not assign a security. While you can very well beat civilians half to death and eventually get completion points for doing it in different styles, for the most part, there's not really a whole lot you can do while you're waiting for collections to roll in. So, I don't know, just watch Netflix or something. If you head back to where you saw those 2 guys talking about Miracle Johnson, they'll be talking about him again. This time, the rumor is that he's in Maharaja. Head over to said Maharaja and a large man will be standing outside. Beat him and you'll be let in. Surprising absolutely no one, Miracle is there, and he challenges you to a dance-off. It doesn't matter what difficulty you pick, but I'd say go with normal, and I'll get into why later. Miracle will beat you in a fucking landslide and offer you another big black box and small white box. Again, go with the black box, and you'll receive the Encounter Finder, and Miracle will join your team. He costs 48 million yen though, so you probably won't be using him for a while. Once you get to 60% of the Electronics King's area, he invites Kiryu to look at his Steam library. Disgusted, Kiryu challenges him to Garfield Kart, a challenge which he accepts. Now, I don't know how I even won here. I've only ever done it for this video, and once in my own playthroughs. Once you get to 90%, he'll give Kiryu a call, basically saying he got really butthurt when Kiryu insulted his taste in video games. So, after totally getting it first try, I swear, Kiryu beats some dignity into him, and he joins their team. Meanwhile, in the background, a mysterious figure lingers. At some point, you'll receive a call from someone about tax evasion. This will start sub-story 13, the tax lady. Can you guess what this will do? You leave the building and speak with this woman, who says she has reason to believe another real estate agency in the area is committing tax evasion, despite the fact that we're supposedly the first and only ones trying to fight back against the 5 billionaires, but whatever. You agree to help her, and the alleged tax evader recognizes you. He invites you into his office for some tea, but because his secretary is out, he needs to get it himself. You use this time to inspect the VCR rack in the back of the room, and say that its mere presence is the problem. Immediately following this deduction, the other guy comes back with the tea, and it falls on Kiryu to distract him long enough so he doesn't realize she's throwing it back a little too enthusiastically. Eventually, she finds what she's looking for, arrests the man for evading taxes, and joins your crew. I didn't even know you could get this from a dream machine. When you get to 60% of the Pleasure King's area, he'll send you a postcard from Paradise Falls.
What you watching, little bro? Caught you in 20K HDR 1200 FPS Super Nintendo iOS 49 Blu-ray Ultraviolet Radiation 1080p PlayStation 5.
When you get to 90%, the Pleasure King will issue a proper challenge, so naturally you beat the Y chromosome out of him. After the fight, you'll be treated to a cutscene with the 2 remaining kings conversing with the mysterious figure from before. If you go into Earth Angel, a bar in the Champion District, and order any of the drinks, the bartender will join you. You can do this far sooner than I did. I'm just an idiot and didn't. Once you get to 30% of the Gambling King's area, you'll be treated to another cutscene between the same 3 parties as last time. When you get to 60%, the Gambling King will challenge Kiryu to the Catfight Club. Save beforehand, pick Jennifer, and you're good. When you get to 90%, the guy that initially let you into the Catfight arena tells you that the Gambling King is waiting, so, as per usual, you beat the fucking brakes off of him. After the fight, the Media King will show up and say that someone liquidated his assets before the fight. This doesn't mean that you need to keep assigning security or anything, so it doesn't really matter. What does matter is the fact that the Gambling King is, bar none, the best manager. Now that the Gambling King is defeated, you can finally start buying properties in the Media King area. This doesn't matter for the moment, as all but one of the properties are over 900 million yen. Well, technically 2. Go into the Pocket Circuit Stadium and talk to Fighter, and you'll receive the building. Yeah, so I kinda got another one.
But it is you that is f***ing with me!
When you buy the most expensive property, you get an achievement. I would say I'm surprised by how few people have it, but considering the events just to get here, I'm really not. Once you claim 60% of the Media King's area, he'll kidnap Marina. This is a pretty reasonable reaction if you ask me. Head over to Maharaja and hit him with moves even Breaker Majima couldn't hope to match. Now, like all the other kings, reaching 90% of the Media King's land will cause him to challenge Kiryu to a fight. Unlike the other ones though, this one may actually take you a couple of attempts. It got to the point where I had to spam weapons and healing items. I knew this fight wasn't going to be a cakewalk, but it made me realize that this game is absolutely harder on Xbox than it is on PC. Regardless of what you're playing the game on, remember that save scumming and spamming Toughness Emperors is always an option. After that fight, the mysterious figure will reveal himself as the Finance King, the puppet master who is secretly pulling the strings. Now that you've beaten the Media King, you have everything. If he beats you, then he gets everything. The Media King has a sudden change of heart like he's a goddamn anime villain, and decides to help Kiryu in the ensuing fight. Don't know why his goons don't stay, but whatever. After that fight, Marina will show up and say there's a problem. Returning to home base, you realize that Yamanoi has gone to get milk. The Leisure and Electronics Kings walk in and explain that the Finance King is trying to sell him spoiled milk, so the Pleasure King takes Kiryu to the place where the deal is going down in order to save Yamanoi's wallet. However, when you arrive, you realize that there's actually no milk being exchanged, And instead, what's happening is Yamanoi is about to willingly undo everything you just spent the past 16 hours working for. In a blind rage, Kiryu beats 2 innocent people within an inch of their lives, and then Yamanoi straight up pulls the fucking 9 on the Finance King, but Marina stops him at the last second. The Finance King isn't just going to let them leave, however, so the stormtrooper he misses a shot from point-blank goddamn range, so Kiryu gives him what he wished for. And after the fight... You've done it. The Finance King is arrested, and Real Estate Royale is complete. You can now enjoy beating enemies at the Dragon of Dojima. If you enjoyed, make sure to like the video and subscribe the video, and comment the video with ways it could have been better. This has been Eternal Suffering, and I lost my voice recording this fucking video.